People look out there and see Facebook and Google and everybody having apps and websites and stuff, and they think, okay, internet has arrived, this is it. Actually, if you watch his talk, you'll see that the true digital transformation is only about to begin. And that will change the way you work, no matter what you do. The good news again is that you have the opportunity to become much more empowered within your organizations, because much more will be demanded from you. But if today you're servicing your colleagues from the other departments, pretty soon things will turn in a way that they'll end up servicing you, because your role will become even more vital to the company's success. And all at the same time, there is a common sense fact that if people buy your products or services, they care. Some of them will love it, some of them will not love it so much, but they have an attitude, they have an opinion, they have an emotion that arises while they're consuming it. So that's what I'll try to cover, just 3 simple points: what is push, what is pull, and what is next, most importantly. So let's begin with an example. I was in Helsinki last week for meetings there. I come back a day later, you know what it is, a survey asking me how my flight was. My flight was a long time ago, is the honest answer, but I thought it's a good example for the talk, so I'll go ahead with it. Of course, the language being used is not really smooth, doesn't really flow like a normal conversation. The input mechanic they ask me to do is also slow. They ask me to cover the positives and the negatives. It kind of feels like homework. I didn't like it when I was in school, don't like it today. And I keep making the screenshots to use in this presentation. I'm thinking, how long will it take? And of course, why am I doing this? You know this. It's getting boring already. So this is push. The business asking when the business decides, what the business decides, because the business decides. It's very important that any company cares about their customer's opinion, but all I'm saying is maybe there's another way to do it. The social media way. You know, people share so much data. I'm not going to bore you with the details, you already know them. But why? Well, here are some fundamental observations for you to consider. First of all, it's always there. I can reach out, grab it, use it. I choose when to engage, so I, as the hero of my personal journey, I'm empowered. I know what to expect, I know the mechanics, I'll like some stuff, I'll share some stuff, maybe I'll post a funny picture. But I have a role to play. It's my tool. And maybe most important from all, whatever I do, something happens. That triggers the dopamine hit. The important thing is, it's a dynamic space. There is a sort of conversation going on. And we can distill this to 3 keywords: convenience, utility, and familiarity. And I believe all of you can achieve these 3 relatively easy and provide a whole new experience to customers everywhere. So convenience is about being there, just being available for the people, and making it as quick and easy as possible, of course. Utility is about giving people a voice in a way that they feel they have a voice. And familiarity is about making them feel that this is a tool meant as much for them as it is for you and your needs. And keeping the user interaction, the user experience, the same as much as possible, so they get used to it. So let's mix the social media type of user experience and the research practice when it comes to quantitative research at scale. Some familiar graphs here, of course, going through the user journey and different opinions, different sentiments, and the epic, mythical customer journey map with all the touch points on it. But the big question here is, what if I'm a customer and I want to share with you how I feel at any of these touch points? What do I have to do? call the call center, wait for a survey delivered to me, write an email, write on social media, hope that you're listening. So, number one step towards achieving this easy approach is to let the customers share with you how they feel, what they think, because they want to. We can do that by simply putting a virtual button at absolutely every touch point. So many touch points, but one interaction. All throughout the way. Maybe I'll notice it in the beginning, maybe I'll notice it at the end stage, maybe I'll notice it at the very end. The point is that if it's there, I have the opportunity to be proactive and give you my data because I want to, when I want to. So you can integrate it at the point of sale, on the packaging, on the marketing materials, in a physical communication, even in the letters, just as a little artifact. That's covering the physical world. This is a good example from Deutsche Bahn. They put it as a invite to share your experience taking the train right on the seat in front of you. But you can do it also in the virtual world, of course, embedding it on your website and apps, in your social media posts, in the email communication or messaging apps communication, just as an option somewhere there. I'll give you an example at the end. But then it starts to get tricky. You have to maybe engage a bit with your colleagues because many of these touch points are managed otherwise by the customer service department, by the sales interactions, by marketing, by quality assurance. With this new approach, they need to provide you with the data and access, so you can in turn provide them with the insights. And very importantly, it needs to be timely. So seconds after the interaction has ended, or even better, during their interaction itself. Because otherwise, the customer, the consumer, he's not in the same wavelength as you. So no matter if you do your best, if it's too late, it's just, Step number 2, we need to provide a reason for people to do it. And I personally believe you have absolutely everything you need already. You have the brand loyalty practices to provide additional incentives, but those are dangerous in themselves. You can create virtual prestige by, of course, as many of you do, invite them to take part of your community so they can continuously share with you what they feel and think. You can generate some form of result at the end always that is of use to the customer. It could be that they pushed one of these virtual buttons and let you know that they're happy, and maybe you say, all right, the information has been passed to the right people. Or if they're happy, you can ask them to become part of your virtual community, award them the prestige of being able to tell you more. And share your reasons clearly and transparently. Last point is build familiarity. It has to be the same. You can use all kinds of sophisticated tools, but the beginning needs to be soft and predictable. I know that there will be no tweet longer than 280 characters. I know what to expect when I use any of the tools I have on my phone. It would be great if I, as a customer, am given the option to engage with you when I choose to, but it will be important for me to do it the second time if I already know what it is and I'm confident that it's the same interaction. So, have the same starting point, always. Have the tool react logically. So, if I tell you that the answer to your question 1 is option 2, then question 2 should reflect that. It might be the same question you would ask anyway, but maybe change the tone of voice, the messaging a bit, so that it feels more natural. Built-in logic, so you ask only what you need to. The appropriate questions provided my touch point and particular sentiment expressed. And here's a simple example of how all this can be achieved, so that you can open up your expertise for customers to participate at scale in your research efforts, because people want you to know who they are and what they like. So let's assume this same example is delivered exactly when I landed, or it could have been as Deutsche Bahn does it in the seat. It can start with a very clear, lean interface that has a very simple, non-verbal input mechanic, asking me how I feel first and foremost to determine my attitude towards that particular touch point. Showing me maybe a bit of results already after I input the first data point, that I'm not alone, that there's other people out there that, yes, they agree with me or not. Ask me then the relevant question based on how you know I feel about what stage of the customer journey. And then, if I'm a happy customer and I tell you that, yes, I would like to participate in your program, invite me and I'll gladly join, and you can have my email in a GDPR compliant way, and that's it. Then you can redirect me straight up to the more sophisticated, detailed survey, or providing additional value by sending me to the right web page from within your organization or something that's useful to me. If I'm unhappy, don't do any of that. Just ask what's wrong, and that's it. I'm not in a good mood to be answering further questions, right? All I care about is finding a solution to my problem. And if I get that solution, I'll know that next time I can rely on you listening, acting accordingly, and giving me a voice that I know is being heard within your organization. So that's it. Push, a tool for the business. Pull, simply put, a tool for me as a person. And the next step is combining the two by offering as much value as you can to the end customer by aligning the already existing practices within your organization and, keeping things simple, at least in the beginning. Thank you very much.
Do we have any questions in the audience? Please put your hands up high if you would like to ask a question at all. We've got one, two here, we've got one, and then there's 1 second. Thank you.
Hi. I was wondering, how do you see your results getting biased if you only ask more questions to people that are happy?
That's a good question. How about letting them be biased? Because this is about not combining breakfast, lunch, and dinner in one sitting, right? So first, you want to promote the culture to all of your customers that if they want to get in touch with you, if they want to share any data with you, there is a way they can do it quickly, conveniently, whenever they choose to. So that's the new part. Then, once you have this culture and it grows and you develop your own community, you can bring them into the sophisticated, proper research tools. And maybe the data is biased or non-representative, but the nature of it being so fresh and up-to-date and varied can have other uses. Maybe it can be a starting point for a deep dive research project because you've noticed something on the radar. Does that answer the question?
Second one here, and then third question back.
Thanks for your excellent presentation. I'm just curious, who do you sell into? Who do you engage with in the company? How much is the cost of this subscription and subscription?
Thank you. Well, the presentation is what illustrates what we believe in as a company. I believe there's many wonderful tools out there or approaches. The big takeaway is that you, as research professionals, have a much more fresh role to play in the world that's already in place. What we offer is the plug-and-play mechanics or the simple, quick, massive layer. Flat price per month, regardless of respondent size.
Okay, and we have another question here.
At the moment, the frequent tool that's being used if you're in restaurants or in airports are those smiley faces.
Sure.
If you're in the toilet,
Yeah.
wherever. What's your impression of those sorts of methodologies for, allowing consumers to give their opinion of your service?
Thank you, that's a very nice question. So a tool is only as good as you as the company behind it are willing to provide actual impact, right? People would gladly share more data with you than just pressing a physical button, even though that's the lowest barrier to entry stuff. If I'm happy, I can tell you that, but you can't ask me why. Maybe I want to tell you why. We all use Uber, I believe. That's a very good example. They ask a very simple question all the time, at the right time. And it feels good to give more than the monetary value to the person who just provided an excellent service. And it feels good to know that if they didn't, that you have some way to let the management know. So on the physical buttons, it shows that, yes, companies do care, consumers do care. We just believe there is a better way to do it that is elastic. I can, if it's digital and on my own device, I can give you as much data as I choose to. So it's about empowering an initial point of understanding.
Okay, great. Do we have any final questions? If not, then please join me in thanking Rado for a fantastic presentation.
Thank you.